Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and a warm welcome to you all. My name is Erdal Karamercan. I co-chair Global Compact Network Turkey's Gender Equality Working Group. In Global Compact, we support companies in their sustainability journey with our resources and tools and provide a platform for progress by sharing best practices as much as we can and lessons learned. Today, I'm delighted to moderate the panel TGE in Actions, Lessons Learned in Turkey. Before we start, I would like to thank UN Global Compact for organizing Target Gender Equality Live, bringing in diverse, exciting, and powerful content and participants together. I would also thank our guests for joining me in this conversation. Today, we will focus on how to move from commitment to action and break down the barriers that women continue to face in accessing leadership roles. I'm gratefully joined by Ms. Ebru Tüzecan from TÜSİAD. TÜSİAD is the Turkish Industry and Business Association. It's the leading business association in Turkey. She is a member of Gender Equality Working Group. And then Ms. Hande Şenova. She is head of people and partner in KPMG. I am sure everybody knows KPMG. And Mr. Emrah Özbay. He is in charge of internal audit, risk and sustainability in Boyner Group, which is a leading textile group in Turkey. And my special thanks is for you, our dear participants following the event and joining us today. Dear friends, ensuring gender equality in business effectively requires companies to recognize and address barriers, analyze the company performance in gender equality, and set targets. We also need to work together, explain what gender equality means for business, and identify the barriers to overcome. Therefore, my first question goes to Ebru. Ebru, how can gender equal policies foster business results? What are the specific barriers to this progress? The floor is yours.
Thank you, Erdal. Let me first try to address the first half of your question, which is how gender equality can help us achieve better business results. Actually, there is mounting evidence in this field. For example, according to European Institute for Gender Equality, we would have additional 10 million jobs in 2050 if we made the necessary improvements in women empowerment today. Another research shows that if female employment ratio increased to 60%, which is quite high, but it would also have a great impact on the GDP. In OECD countries, for example, the GDP would increase by $6 trillion. Mm-hmm. There is also growing recognition that equality leads to better decision-making and more innovative products and also services. When women employment and leadership increase, companies' organizational effectiveness improves. And it's also estimated that companies with 3 or more women in senior management achieve better results in all dimensions of the organizational performance. Another study shows that companies with more than 30% of women executives are more likely to outperform other companies with lesser representation. Mm-hmm. And recognizing actually all the scientific evidence, we see businesses increasingly focusing on increasing their diversity both at executive management level and at board level. Now, let me try to address the second part of your question, which is the less popular part, which is the obstacles. We see actually multiple barriers. These barriers are holding women back and slowing us all down actually to achieve gender equality. There's occupational segregation, unpaid care work issue, lack of affordable care for children, and family members, lack of access to financial resources and technology, as well as gender-based violence. These are just highlights of barriers. Of course, most of these barriers stem from gender stereotypes and unconscious biases. In fact, International Labour Organization's study shows that discrimination and gender bias are most cited barriers for women. I would also like to highlight in this panel the digital gender divide, which is an increasingly important barrier for us now, because with the COVID-19 pandemic, digital transformation accelerated, and digital divide, gender divide, is becoming more and more important for us. There is the issue of lack of connectivity, low literacy, and lack of digital skills. And here again, unconscious biases contribute to the core of the problem. However, we believe as TCF that digital transformation can be utilized as a catalyst to close the gender divide, actually. This rapid acceleration can be and should be regarded as an opportunity, not an obstacle. And with this perspective, solid actions should be taken on specific key areas. These include boosting women and girls' ability to access and use of digital technologies, investing in women-led innovation, addressing workplace stereotypes, and of course, tackling online gender-based violence. Here again, we observe that multi-stakeholder platforms and collective actions are essential to deliver concrete results for women empowerment. So I want to finish my remarks for this first part with something positive, and again emphasize that in order to reach gender equality, we have to act collectively. Thank you.
Okay, I thank you, Ebru, and I'm fascinated every time I hear about these research and studies that show how business can really profit from gender equality, and still we are behind this target. Anyway, thank you very much. Now we would like to hear from company leaders, Hande and Emrah. Their organizations are setting ambitious targets to challenge and transform the structure that address gender equality. Now, dear Hande and Emrah, what are the key actions that you are taking to advance women's leadership in your own organization that you think are impactful and could be replicated? Now we may start with Hande first. The floor is yours, Hande.
Thank you very much. Actually, we have 5 values of KPMG: integrity, excellence, courage, together for better. And KPMG globally promotes inclusion and encourages diversity. We even have a role of inclusion and diversity leader within the network, where we have periodic meetings. As KPMG, we are committed to equality and diversity through our equality, diversity, and inclusion policy. Our employee receives equal treatment regardless of gender identity. In 2016, we have signed Women Empowerment Principles. Starting from the new graduate recruitment, we have gender equality metrics. We adopt equal pay for equal work policy, and our remuneration policy is based on performance only. Reporting gender data is one of the ways to understand and track how we are inclusive. And this year, we have published our first sustainability reports. I can proudly announce that almost half of the KPMG Turkey workforce is female. Out of 1,300, 635 employees are women. At manager and above level, this ratio is unfortunately a bit lower, like 41%. We noticed the dilution of women in senior levels in total. On the other hand, the 2 leading roles, the head of audit and the head of advisory, were led by women until 2019. This year, we are focusing on improving our diversity at senior levels. On the other hand, 17 out of 20 women returned to work after maternity leave, And as being an ex-banker, I can personally comment that KPMG is doing its best for maternity leave. I mean, like additional vacations and also same promotion criteria as soon as you return from maternity. We try to be active on different platforms to support women on business life. Our partners and myself also actively participate and work for NGOs like Yeniden Biz and Yönetim Kurulu'nda Kadın Women on Board Association. So we believe in mentorship, we encourage volunteers, we appreciate out-of-the-box thinking for any recommendation and solution. For raising awareness, as you have mentioned with the researches that you have been appreciating, KPMG also conducts a research series named Cracking the Code. With this research, we aim to underline the current status quo and the mindset of gender equality in business life, to share real-life experiences for lessons learned, as you have mentioned earlier. We search solutions, encourage our people to make suggestions for gender equality and make a change of mentality. We know that it's a journey and it's a journey of awareness and acceptance. As being a mother of 2 boys, my personal goal is to raise them as supporting women in business. As they see how their father is helping me in daily life, especially in these home office days, actually. So this is in a nutshell my response for this.
Thank you, Hande. It was very nice to hear these examples. Now the same question goes to Emrah.
Hello, everyone. As a Boyner Group, gender equality is an issue we have been working on for many years. We measure the rate of female employees, the rate female managers, and the promotion rate of female employees regularly. Then we regularly monitor data on the gender equality and the measurement. In line with this result, we make decision and take action quickly to stabilize the improvement. All relevant departments, especially the sustainability department, work in cooperation. In Boyner Group, instead of prioritizing to female employees in position, we encourage them to become candidates for that position with business result, leaving the decision to their preference. In Boyner, generally we apply equal pay policy for equal work within group companies. We know that culture of equality reflects positively on business efficiency. Boyner Group, as you know, is also one of the company implementing the United Nations Women's Empowerment Principles. We work on produce project within many national institutions and organizations. Particularly, Mrs. Hande mentioned YKKD, Yönetim Kurulu'nda Kadın in Turkish, the woman in board. And one of them is also 30% club. Within Boyner Group, we support careers of our female employees with our mentor-mentee programs, training for our employees, equality-based HR policies, and social responsibility projects. This is the general or practice in company.
Thank you, Emrah. These are really promising, exciting, and inspiring examples. Now I'll like to go over to Ebru. Ebru, we know that advancing gender equality is too big a task for any one sector. Rather, the combined efforts of all stakeholders, including governments, investors, civil society, and academia are required. Now, how do you address all these stakeholders and how do you support business under TÜSİAD, Gender Equality Working Group? I'm really fascinated to hear more on that.
Thank you, Erdal. You are right. Gender equality can only be addressed in a holistic manner and working together with other partners. And at TÜSİAD, we have different efforts in the area of education and employment, ending gender-based violence, overcoming gender stereotypes, promoting women's leadership in all forms of decision making. So we have diverse activities around different issues. Let me try to give some examples of what we are doing and what kind of partnerships we are forming. One of the areas is around childcare. As you know, childcare is the major obstacle for women employment, and it's one of our priority issues. So we collaborate with Mother Child Education Foundation and PwC Turkey to demonstrate how to increase the reach and quality of childcare in Turkey, and we develop policy recommendations accordingly. Another important focus area is, as I mentioned previously, addressing gender stereotypes. Given the influence of media and marketing sector on social perceptions and attitudes, we develop guides and principles for professionals working in this area, and we collaborate with major sector organizations like advertising associations, public relations professionals, organizations, etc. We also work very closely with stakeholders in TV production, because we know that TV series are also very critical in terms of influencing gender stereotypes in a good way or a bad way. So we work closely with screenwriters, producers, actors, NGOs, academia in this field. And together with them, we develop principles and disseminate those principles in the sector. Last but not least, the pandemic. We have all observed how the current pandemic has exposed already existing social inequalities. It will soon mark the 1-year anniversary of COVID-19 pandemic, and the virus continues to affect lives all around the world. And we observe that the pandemic affected women disproportionately across every sphere of life, including education, employment, health, unpaid care, and violence against women. In order to gain insights on the potential effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on the private sector and to contribute to the development of policies, we conducted a research, and here we collaborated with UN Women and Turkish Business Confederation, reaching this confederation, as you know, is reaching out to small and medium enterprises. The research confirmed that women employees are facing considerably more challenges related to work-life balance compared to men. Another important highlight of the research was that 90% of organizations reported gender-based violence as an issue coming from their female employees. On the other hand, only 1/4 of the organizations offered any type of prevention in the first phase of the pandemic for their employees. So there is room for growth there. And in our report, we highlighted some recommendations both for public and private sector on how to address these issues and respond to the crisis with a gender filter. Now we are working collaboratively with companies to develop a guide on specific roadmaps, concrete actions, and benchmarks in dealing with the crisis with a gender filter. At this point, I want to especially highlight the increasing prevalence of gender-based violence during COVID-19. It has been reported that since the beginning of the pandemic, the gender-based violence increased by 20%, which is also why it's coined as shadow pandemic. As TGE, we are a partner of Business Against Domestic Violence project by UNFPA and Corporate Governance Forum. This is another type of partnership we are leading. And we work on the dissemination and adoption of relevant policies and action plans by member companies. All these efforts are valuable, but unfortunately not enough, all these partnerships, because gender-based violence is one of the most important barriers to the effective participation of women in the labor force. Considering the transformative power of business, we believe we should continue to address gender-based violence with corporate policies, solid actions, advocacy efforts at every level, and through multi-stakeholder dialogue. As I try to demonstrate with some examples in different areas we work in, partnerships and platforms increase our capabilities and offer us the prospect of a more equal and sustainable society. Thank you.
Well, I thank you for this crucial and big effort you put. I hope these efforts will flourish and strengthen. In Turkey, we implement Target Gender Equality and Accelerator program to support companies that are committed to gender equality. We help them to set and refine targets for women's representation and leadership in business and take action to tackle the barriers. Over the past year, over 300 companies across 19 participating countries, and amongst them, 16 companies in Turkey participated in this program. Now, dear Hande Emrah, I know your companies are also among the participants, and therefore I would like to ask, what is one key challenge that you plan to focus on in the coming year and the actions you intend to take? And how will the TGE program help you in this journey? Maybe we can start with Emrah first this time to keep our promise on gender equality.
Hello again. Yes, as you said, we are follow this program and participate this program. As a Boyner Group, we are aware of the importance of gender equality for an inclusive economic development and sustainable growth. We know that equality is also important threshold for sustainability, performance, and efficiency in the long term. As a Boyner Group, let me give an example. As a Boyner Group, our rate of female employees is 46%, and our female managers is 43%. Our plans for 2021 are to be able to increase this rate to 50%. This is one of our key challenge this year. As to program helps, we aim to achieve this rate in all recruitment, promotion, planning, and the other sides. As I mentioned, we base the articles of the webs. So we are, while determining our goals and planning, we use this document. Thanks to the program we follow now, we realized that we could add value to our process and Boyner Group by examining global and national examples in line with these principles, listening and learning them. As a company that know the importance of the cooperation in every aspect, we are proud to be part of this large family and collective mind. Let me give example. During this program, we realized that, and we learned from Coca-Cola company, that, as said, we signed the web document by CEO level. But now we plan to sign this document or the company by all direct rent manager levels. And we learned this from Coca-Cola company, and we want to apply our company during this year. This is the one of the
Very good.
our program. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Emrah. Very nice to hear all that. And I would like to give the floor to Hande and hear what KPMG is doing on this subject.
Thank you again. I mean, as Abraham mentioned about the pandemic, I believe one of the key challenges is the corona pandemic we are experiencing for a year now. And within KPMG Turkey, we are making surveys and focus groups how we can support our women employees working from home, especially if they have homeschooling kids. I mean, I'm also one of them, but still we are making many progress on this. We still have some more to do. We don't want gender or any other diversity to be a barrier to anyone's career. We are collecting and analyzing diversity data. While we have a better gender balance in our entry roles, the gap is driven by the more males as seniority increases and more females in support and non-revenue generating roles. We will set gender diversity targets to increase the representation of women at senior levels. We will set the principles of evaluating promotion priorities among equal candidates by women. Currently, 25% of only partners, are women, and the target is to exceed 30% next year. Lately, 4 out of 9 partner promotions were female partners indeed. I mean, at manager levels, as mentioned before, our female ratio is 41%. So we will promote any conference, mentor, mentee programs, trainings, tea and talks, NGOs, any event for addressing the issues in gender equality. And this year, on 8th of March, our senior partner, country manager, is going to have a live discussion with one of our female partners as a role model in front of all KPMG staff. She started as a new graduate assistant some years ago in KPMG Turkey, and she's been nominated for partner promotion after her maternity leave. Now she's been assigned to an international role as banking sector quality and risk leader. We hope such stories will inspire and motivate our younger female employees. This Target Gender Equality program provided us a guided roadmap about where we are and where to go by using Women Empowerment Principles Gender Gap Analysis tool. The program provided us 3 capacity building workshops and helped us build a network of peers to work collectively. We are proud to be one of the 16 companies attending this first Global Compact Turkish network. I'm myself a bit new to this program relative to some of my partners, but as being the chair of People Board within KPMG Turkey, we have assigned a team of volunteers from our employees. And Shirin, one of our female partners, is the sponsor partner of this project team. This project team will work on and is working on improvement areas identified in this TGE program. They will prepare a tailored action plan to support our gender equality strategy. We already developed our inclusion, diversity, and social equality strategy, and this data will help us and the project team to fine-tune our action plan. Our people boards, as I have been chairing, will be accountable for progress towards our inclusion, diversity, social equality targets. We will report quarterly progress to our management team so to make it sustainable. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I mean, this was a very lively talk, and I have to thank you for joining us. I hope the discussions will help and inspire companies to progress more with time-bounded, measurable, and ambitious targets in gender equality. That's what we need. Now, having said that, I wish you a healthy, just, and equal future. And thank you for participating.
Thank you very much.
Very much.